Hello everyone, happy Friday, that's what they call it, isn't it? Happy Friday. I don't know if it's happy Friday for West Ham fans, but happy Friday from me, Jazz, to you. Welcome to the West Ham Irons channel. Please share and subscribe if you haven't. We are aggressively heading towards 3,000 subs. That would be wonderful if we can reach that target. But yeah, thanks for watching. New show, Moyes press conference review, so I'll try to bring these on a regular basis. I find, yeah, they're quite interesting, aren't they? I think everyone should make an effort to kind of listen and watch the press conferences. It gives you a lot of sort of information on how the manager's feeling. Some of them who are under pressure get a bit feisty from some of the questions that the journalists sort of ask the managers, which is good. And sometimes, if you're lucky, one of the questions will be exactly what you would like to ask the manager if you were in the press conference. And I think that happened today. So this is the first one I'm covering. It's obviously press conference in relation to the up and coming Manchester United league game, really. So it's more about that. And then obviously there was a few questions about the transfer window in there. And one or two other really important questions that I think you fans out there would love to get David Moyes in a room, lock the door, get your boxing gloves on, and ask him, really. And in this show, I'll be kind of summarising what's been asked and said and my feelings around that, really. So yeah, let's kind of get into it straight away. So these are the main summary points sort of being taken away from the press conference, really. They asked him, David Moyes, about the injury situation. Paqueta, he didn't want to give any timing in terms of Paqueta coming back. He just said he's working away in the background, and I haven't had anything else to catch up with the medical team on an exact period in time when he can come back. Mikel Antonio, he said he's back running on the grass as he continues his rehab, and again he said, I'll let you know when that happens, really. But apart from that, he's hopeful that there's no fresh injury concerns from the Bournemouth game. Then on to some interesting points on the collapse of Benrahma's transfer to Lyon. Obviously being quite political about it. And the funny thing is, I think if you heard the comments, the club didn't even know where Benrahma was yesterday. Some of the crazy comments out there. And then he's like, oh yeah, looks like there have been some problems with the paperwork at the last minute, but I only learned about it when I came off the pitch last night. So he's wrongly or rightly is totally detaching himself from what's happened with Benrahma and Fornals. He doesn't know what's gone on. Obviously he's not involved in the paperwork and he doesn't know. And then obviously someone in there said, well, Lyon, especially Lyon, and obviously a little bit to lesser extent at the moment, Real Betis. Real Betis is the one where Moyes said that that transfer can be ratified, and maybe there's a good chance of that one certainly going through in the end, because he said, oh, we did submit what we needed to, but we had issues with the computer. But with the Benrahma transfer, it looks like we deliberately didn't do what we were meant to do, which is totally piss Lyon off. And this is going to have huge ratifications for West Ham, because I kept telling you guys, there's not that many clubs in the world that you do business with. They're kind of customers as well. You got to keep them happy, right? And we all know the stories of Sullivan. He used to annoy so many owners around the world by kind of upsetting them and disrespecting them by offering really low amounts compared to what the club are asking. And you remember the Sporting Lisbon thing with kind of Carvalho. We chased this guy all the window. We never had any money anywhere near what he was worth. We just wasted William Carvalho's time, we wasted Sporting Lisbon's time. Then things got a little bit feisty between the owners of our clubs and their clubs, and ended up with Sporting Lisbon saying Sullivan's a joke and they do things unprofessionally, and this has come up again. So I think the Fornals thing, they think could, with an appeal, go through. Benrahma didn't say, they kind of deliberately messed that one up, really. And they said, how do you feel him coming back, Benrahma? Do you expect him to be professional, hit the ground running? And he said, yes, I do. You and me know Benrahma wants to get out of it. He's not been, him and Fornals have totally, mentally, head-wise, they've been totally away from what they should be on the pitch. And I do blame that this is one of the weak sides of David Moyes' management style. He's not one that if you had a problem, I think that would be comforting. He's not one, if you're out of form, that would help you get back into form. He doesn't really do man management well, I don't think. Something that he's very good at, what we all hear, is that he's organised, especially in the detail, leading up to games. He plans all of that quite well, does reasonably good. Sort of sets up training plans, hands-on coach, that kind of thing. But things he doesn't do that well. Obviously, he doesn't do transfers that well in terms of quickly understanding what he needs. He obviously does due diligence, but to such an effect, he often won't buy. He often finds there's no one in the world he wants, which is completely dumb. And then going back to Fornals and Benrahma, I don't think there's anything Moyes can do like Klopp does, which is, kind of help them across mentally to kind of begin to perform or get back into form on that. And then obviously the question that all you guys out of all of them would like to ask, what did you think about the transfer business? And this lady nicely said that, well, you didn't look like you were going to score. You don't look like you're going to score in the last 2-3 games. You didn't buy a striker in the window. What's going on? And he's like, we wanted to strengthen. We worked really hard to bring in an attacking player as well, but we couldn't quite get there. That comment you could copy and paste into many, many of the windows David Moyes has been in charge with at West Ham. And then he always thinks he's a smart ass, knows more than anyone else, and then he's always got an answer for everything. And then he's like, no, I don't think the transfer business or acquiring a striker is the issue at the moment, because we've got Kudos, we've got Bowen, but we are missing Antonio, we are missing Paqueta. But sooner or later, between 3-4 of them, we'll get back to scoring goals. And then also someone said, well, you keep starting some games slow. You conceded a sloppy goal after 3 minutes. What do you think's the issue with that? And he goes, no. We more often than not, if you look at the stats, we've been the team who scored first rather than the opposition. So he just refuses to acknowledge any issues. So he's totally rebuffed the striker issue, saying there is no problem. We have the goal scorers within our fucking squad. And then he's not accepting liability to that. Sometimes we're very, very slow out the traps, right? It takes us time to get into the into games, right? And we often find the opposition from the kickoff are much faster, zip it around quickly, more motivated to get to the 50-50 ball quicker. So he totally rebuffed all of them. Question about Den Haag, and he said, he's in a privileged position. He's tried to enforce the way he wants his team to play and work. I can only give him credit for that. So that kind of, Ten Hag has been playing an awful style of football, right, which is not really wanted anywhere at Man United, and he wants to give him credit for sticking to the shit way that he wants to play, and that mirrors his own position. That's saying to me, good on you, Ten Hag. You like playing a shit way. You carry on, mate. Disregard the club's philosophy, the history. You fucking carry on, mate. Totally stuck up little shit, and I can see now why the coaches don't want to work with him more than a season. They just fucking throw the keys back to him. Thank you, we're going. He doesn't listen to anyone. He doesn't move with the times. This kind of gives you such an insight on things like that, really. What does he expect against Man United? Oh, we're going to Old Trafford, such a hard place to get results. We'll try to put on a good performance. We're in a good run of form in the league in the main. We'll try to keep going. And then he said West Ham can play better to turn recent draws into wins. But then says sometimes you just have to make sure you don't lose. Piss poor comments. Not being honest in any way. And then totally not taking the blame for anything. Totally not accepting anything that we wanted to sign a striker. I understand the fans' frustration. Yes, we do need a striker. You should have a striker in your squad. Have a look at what Solanke done and things like that. But no, not a problem with scoring. Not accepting it. We tried to do it. Didn't happen. Doesn't matter. We got enough people in our squad to do that. Absolute bullshit. Absolute fucking bollocks on David Moyes. Right? And that's a press conference. So there you go. So looks like we deliberately fucked up Benrahma's deal. There's a chance the Fornals one could go through with an appeal. He apparently tried to sign strikers apparently in the window, which I don't see any evidence of. The other thing I forgot to mention, obviously we now found out that Armando Broja, who we've been after for a while, he's ended up going to Fulham very late in the window. Fulham, right? And you won't believe what the deal is. Chelsea initially told the world we want 50 million for him, otherwise we're not interested. Fulham in the end didn't even want to pay the 4 million loan fee, and they've apparently got him for a lot less than 4 million loan fee, and there's no obligation to buy him either. That is a deal of the century. You've got Brozier on loan for about a couple of million, and at the end of the summer, you don't have to buy him. It's up to you. Try it. They've managed to do that, right? And then asking Moyes a couple of days ago, are you interested in Brozier? Then obviously a couple of the sources I know, they were saying that they did ask that question to the sources. Is David Moyes, is he after Brozier? Is he not? And the reply back was that he's not sure about Brozier anymore because he hasn't quite picked up the form that he had a couple of years ago. Isn't that the point of getting players from the big teams? Harry Redknapp used to always be famous for buying damaged goods, players that are out of form, players that unluckily got injured on the way back, and then they can't quite get themselves back into a big team's first 11. Those are if Brozier was fully fit, banging in goals, he's not going to go on loan to Fulham, is he, or West Ham? There's a reason why we are not top 4, top 6, right? We have to get players that perhaps are on the way out of these big clubs. It's always been that way. That's why Brozier will be available to Fulham or maybe permanent move somewhere else, because he's struggling at the moment, still trying to regain his fitness, trying to obviously get, find out all little, get the rust off, and a bit ring rusty at the moment. That's the point. But the least David Moyes could have done is try to get this kid on loan, because we haven't got striker, and he's one of the few people out there globally who can play that lone striker role. Solanke's one of them. Calvin Phillips, Calvin Lewin is one of them. Brozier's one of them. There's not many around who've got the physique, young, good height, proper team player, doesn't mind running down the channels, doesn't mind holding it up, plays more for the team than a selfish goal scorer. A selfish goal scorer is something David Moyes likes anyway, rightly or wrongly, right? So down the road is a kid. He's gone to Fulham. So anyway, that's it from me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this short Moyes press conference review show. I'll bring these on more and more regularly. And now that the transfer window has kind of shut, I'm going back to the daily news shows every day, which you guys know. So that'll be a short snap summary of anything happening around our club daily and summarising it and giving my views, really. So again, put your comments in. Like I said, I do reply to each and every comment. It's just that I'm 3-4 days behind at the moment due to one or two things at work and what's been happening in the window. So I will catch up with everything at the weekend. Don't you forget about that. So anyway, you take care. Have a good Friday. And yeah, we'll catch up soon. Take care.